Ooh, this one is really heavy. Interesting one. It's a time for package from China. But let's do a quick overview of this tiny pinball machine, and I can tell you that already that this thing has some really cool features to it that makes it so much different than a typical, let's say, toy little pinball machine. I want to say this is a real deal, but you know, this is another level when it comes to, let's say, playing pinball on a mini version. The puzzle guy here on YouTube does an amazing assembly video. Here you have a quick overview, so you can see that there's like a lot of work putting this DIY pinball machine together. So personally I didn't have this because already I got this machine assembled ready to go. So I wanted to just focus on the overall quality and the overall fun and how good is, let's say, the gameplay of this pinball machine itself. But you can actually see there's a lot of things you need to put together, so you can watch this video if you want to have like an in-depth about the assembly. And I noticed a couple of other YouTube channels also has the same situation, where they do like a full overall assembly video. But also in this video I just wanted to show you the first time I'm going to be booting it up. Because the overall, let's say, mechanics inside this thing, it comes with real pop-on bumpers. And I think that is one of the cool things that this thing utilizes. But let's boot it up. You can see it automatically, like say, actually activate the pop bumpers. It will give you a little demo of the music, and you can actually shut it down if you want to, because underneath we're going to be having a button for adding the music. And if you freaking find it annoying, you can just shut it off. At the front we're going to be having a storage over there, and we're going to be having the option to add more balls if you want to. In total we're going to be having 6 of them, but for now we're going to be using 1. And at the front we're also going to be having the plunger. Okay, so first of all let's start about the plunger itself, and this thing feels quite solid. So the spring itself has a very nice tension, and you can actually like launch your ball like crazy. But as it's going to be dropping in the middle, you can actually see that something happens, and I think that makes this, let's say, pinball so much different than all the other ones I've actually ever played. The first thing that we'll actually notice when you're booting it up, this has some impressive overall lighter feature, and the overall pinball machine is lighting up absolutely beautiful with having LEDs over there at the bottom that makes absolutely a very nice over vibe when it comes to the machine itself. I know some people even just painted it, and with the overall paint job it's going to be having a little bit more overall pinball feel. But out of the box, this thing is absolutely awesome. So the flippers, that is another story. So there is no real, let's say, mechanics like a plunger or anything inside of this thing. Everything is simple, or more like a semi-mechanic. But when you're going to be looking at the pinball, this thing has absolutely a very nice feel. However, if you're going to be playing, you need to bash it fairly hard to get the ball rolling around inside of the pinball itself. Let's give you a quick gameplay, showcase the plunger, but also when it comes to the flippers. So you need to bash it really hard to get something going on. And you can see actually playing, you do have some really cool things going on. Even light up is going to be changing. And to the point, if you're going to be going to the different ramps, you're going to be having all kinds of different light up features. But makes this pinball absolutely something, I would say magical, but really cool. So, but of course, like one of the things you're already noticing maybe is that there are no slingshots. One of the mechanical things are going to be the bumpers, and that's it. But I think it's absolutely a very cool overall pinball machine. But let's do a little bit in depth about all the other things. I think it's also safe to say that when it comes to the bumpers, this is absolutely one of the cool features of the pinball machine itself. In combination with the sound effects and just the pop bumper actually being one of the cool features, this is just going to be absolutely one of the amazing additions they made for this DIY pinball machine. But what's actually the goal of the game? This is like a super simple situation. So first of all, you can see in the middle we're going to be having the points all the way to 1000. There are no different rounds, what you see is what you're getting. So you're going to be having the indication of how many balls you're going to be having to play with, and in this game we're going to be having a lot. So you can actually see it recognizes that the ball has been lost, and we're going to be having 1 error less. So far I understand, the bells are more like just decoration. It doesn't really do much when it comes to points. So if you're going to be playing, I think one of the coolest things when it comes to, let's say, this particular, let's say, pinball machine, if you're going to be hitting a ramp, let's do it that way, you can actually see the LEDs are going to be start flickering, and we're going to be having 100 points. If you're going to be having 1000 total, the game ends, and that's actually it. So another way to actually get points is this particular ramp over here. So at the right we're going to be having the ramp, and actually like flips the ball and goes in here. You can see that it is quite stable, but you need to be very careful because still it's going to be a DIY situation. But you know, the center is actually in the middle over here, but it's quite difficult to actually show you. But it does actually affect the game because we're going to be having a different light up configuration, and that's pretty cool. If you're going to be entering this lane over there, if you're going to be switching back to another lane, and automatically switch all the lights on. Those minor, I'd say minor simple effects are pretty cool. The downside of the pinball machine is that, yeah, everything is just falling apart sometimes. You did a live stream, and you know, it's absolutely one of those things that I not like. However, you can maybe glue it together and it's going to be solving a lot of problems. The only thing I had when actually using the flipper a lot, I was playing for 10 minutes, that this piece of plastic was getting out of the flipper itself. You know, those things like the elephant that gets loose, those minor things that you need to take a close look at. So after playing for a couple of times, the same goes for this particular ramp. I think it's a little bit of a downside, but I think that is one of the things of a 3D puzzle thingy that you actually make yourself. And like the arrow also actually points to is the final ramp over there. So I think it's pretty awesome that we're going to be having 3 different kind of ramps inside of this machine. So let's drop the ball back in and let's play some pinball. So let's turn the music on because that belongs to the particular game over here. Let's configure the camera correctly. And let's do a little bit of a demo. Yeah, that was a great demo. But as you can see, like if you're out of balls or if you finish the game, you're going to be having this demo mode. And that's it. Automatically it will reboot into the configuration that we're going to be starting all the game to 0. Like I mentioned before, you need to actually like give this thing some re-push to get something going on. Oh, it's unfortunate. The ramp is already loose. There we go. Automatically comes back. Man, I'm shooting the ball so freaking hard. It's going to be flying through the freaking pinball machine. But I must say that I find it absolutely enjoyable gameplay. What happens freaking a lot with this thing is that we're going to be having the ball stuck on some weird random places. So I'm very glad there was no let's say plexiglass over the pinball table. You know, let's do crazy. Let's do a multi-ball. Let's have like 2 balls at the same time. So sometimes it's going to be absolutely a freaking nightmare to get these balls into the ramps. And my other ball is still stuck there. Oh, there we go. There we go. Multi-ball. So unfortunate, the bells don't give you any points whatsoever. I think my ramp is still let loose. So I lost the ball. There was nothing going on. Okay, we cheated today. Let's see if we can actually get this thing into the ramp. So you can use the bumpers all freaking time to actually launch it, but you can see that this thing keeps going loose. It's like one of the pains. You know, I have reached the point I want to freaking glue this thing together, you know, like. Now we got some amazing gameplay. Come on. I want to show you some action here. But of course there is no comparison with the real pinball machine. I think it's absolutely just a fun overall novelty this. It's more like a fun actually toy. If you just love to build and mess around with this. And again, I did a live stream where I actually showcased. Can we launch 2 balls at the same time? Yes we can, so that's pretty cool. Ah, action time! Yes, I did recognize it. Come on. Oh, this is the way how we want to play it. Come on. Now it's a really serious action. With 2 balls, we're going to be having some fast action, getting into the scores, getting 500 points. 500 points, that's what we're getting. Stuck again on the LED there, but it doesn't matter. Let's keep it there. Okay, come again. Ooh, let's go. No, I lost the ball. Ah, finished the game already, lost too many balls. But it is giving you like an idea how the gameplay is. But sometimes a lot of struggle, but it can be this particular model. But still, it's like a lot of fun, you know, when it comes to playing this particular pinball machine. You can use multiple balls if you want to. You can create your own multi-ball. Of course, mechanics are simple as it can be. Sometimes I think like maybe it's better to use glue. I won't have two balls at the same time. That's absolutely giving this thing to the next level. What? I shot it back into the lunch ball situation. What the heck, you know? Oh. Boop, boop. Come on. There we go. Yes. We got some ramps. We got another ramp. Ah, I didn't recognize it. Come on. Yes, there we go. Woo, let's go. It's absolutely insane. Come on. But I'm just going to be honest with you, like I really enjoy playing this thing for quite a long time. What? Why didn't you make that sound? No! Man, that pop-up bumper is really satisfying. Really satisfying. But let's do just a quick look into what's underneath this thing. Because, you know, with sensors and everything, pop-up bumpers, you do actually need some real hardware. When I mentioned it's more like a semi-mechanic, there's still a lot of things going on. First of all, we can shut this thing down. So there are a couple of main boards or control boards underneath. So first of all, we're going to be having the main control board that actually communicates with many different parts of the pinball machine itself. So in here we're going to be having all kinds of LED strips, including over here at the bottom. So this is like the main event when it comes to the main board. You can see here the pop-up bumpers that are actually in here and all of the communication. So this is the voltage in of the 5-volt USB. And it's going to be communicating and giving everything the juice that's going to be needing. But then overall, when you're going to be looking at it, like you need to build it all yourself, giving you a little bit of a look in the inside of the spring. And of course the on-off switch with the speaker there. So you know, when it comes to the inside, of course you need to build it yourself, or you need to actually buy this ready to go. I think it's absolutely a very nice piece of engineering when it comes to this mini pinball machine. And also on the side we're going to be having some light ups over there, and I think this is actually the LEDs that you can see over here. Let's switch it to the other side because this is more clearly, because the LEDs are a little bit bigger at the left. But I think it's like absolutely a very cool novelty. It makes me wonder what kind of cool pinball machines are we going to be having with this particular company, because this is something you need to put yourself together, and I think that's not for everyone. And overall, the overall fun factor is absolutely here when it comes to the overall mechanics. And if this thing, let's say, of course, when it comes to assembly, like the parts are loose, but if you glue it like I should actually done in the first place, everything would be a little bit stabler and not having the same situation over and over again when actually playing, stuff falls apart. But I think it's like the way how this actually works and how this plays is absolutely a fun way to experience some pinball. Nevertheless, let me know in the comments what do you think of this pinball machine. Thank you all for watching, and it will be great to see you in the next video.